Welcome to Hustle and Glow, the podcast where we keep it real, keep it fun, and keep you empowered.
We're your hosts, Lauren and Chloe, bringing you raw, unfiltered conversations about fitness, nutrition, wellness, motherhood, marriage, entrepreneurship, and all the things that make life beautifully messy.
Now we know life isn't always easy, but guess what? You're not alone. We all go through tough shit, but we refuse to let it drag us down.
So grab your coffee, wine, or protein shake, and let's glow through what we gotta go through together.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Hustle and Glow with Lauren and Chloe.
Hello.
So today, we're going to be talking about life and our identity. So we're going to kind of be talking about, where we thought we would be at this point in our lives right now, who we thought we would be, where we would be in our career, talk about some pivoting that we've done throughout our career that we're still doing now, and maybe some things that we never thought we would do or we didn't even think about in our 20s that are very important to us now. So why don't we get started, Chloe? What did you think? Where did you think you would be in your life at this point in time?
There's two different things. There's ideas that I had about myself when I was young, like what I would probably be doing. Mm-hmm. And then there's dreams of what I would hope to have been doing, right? And I guess dreaming-wise, it makes sense. I've always been a little bit of an exhibitionist, even though I can be shy. I was much more shy as a kid. I love doing modeling. I love doing the competing thing. Mm-hmm. When I was young, I wanted to be a famous actress. I wanted to be on the big screen. Or like a dancer. Mm-hmm. Like on stage, dancing, not necessarily Broadway, but you know what I mean?
Like ballet?
Yeah, or jazz or something like that. I'm just very artistically expressive.
Yeah.
And it comes in many forms. So that's what I would always imagine. I remember being really young and I would listen to my music at bedtime. That was my rebelling. I'd listen to my headphones when it was time to go to bed. And I would imagine myself singing or dancing on stage to certain songs. Did you ever do that, or was that just me? Or being in music videos?
Oh, music videos for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So we actually grew up in we're 7 years apart. How old are you?
35.
Yeah, we're 7 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
So I was into hip hop and R&B really big. And which is so funny because I wasn't raised to listen to R&B or anything. I still love it to this day. So I remember specifically going to my grandparents' house, laying on their couch, and they had a big stereo system, and I would listen to SWV and Total and all of these R&B, and I still know all the songs by heart. Music played a very, very, very important role in my life, and even bonding with my friends, and in my day we had cassette players, right? And we would have the dual cassette player. We would play, record off the radio, and then play, rewind, and memorize all the words. It was so funny. I had this one girlfriend, and she never got the words right. This girl was always singing, and it wasn't even words that were, close to the right words. It was, the great, and we're why would you even think that's the words? But we let her have it.
Did you, when you were, let's say, middle school age, did you ever have, an aspiring girl group?
What do you mean by that?
like TLC. Like me and my friends, we would like get together and we would practice Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
And we were hoping to make it big one day. and we would do the talent show.
Okay. No, that's awesome. No, one of the biggest things, so we didn't do that. Like I said, my girlfriends and I, we always like memorize songs, and it's so funny. I was just telling this story yesterday. My one girlfriend, we lived 2 blocks away from each other, so her mom would drive us to school in the morning, and we would make her mom put the sunroof down. We would stand out of the sunroof, like as if it was like some kind of
like
teen
limousine.
Disney movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But our favorite song was "Doing It" by LL Cool J.
I'm doing it.
Right, but that song's like very obviously about sex, right? But like we were 12, 13. We didn't know what we were
just a catchy
singing.
tune.
We'd be singing that song at the top of our lungs on the way to school, like
Good memories.
wild animals.
That sounds like a fun time. I wish I was there.
It was fun. It was fun. Definitely a good time. I think, okay, I'm going to be very, very honest right now. When I was young, I didn't think I thought I was going to die when I was 24 years old.
That's weird. I always thought I was going to die around my 30s.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I could swear, I thought I was going to be in a car accident.
Yeah.
I would die. I wasn't going to see past 30. And the fact that I'm 42 now, I'm like, yeah, I made it, girl. I survived.
And we both did get in traumatic car accidents,
Yeah.
too, and we lived past it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really strange. I think, like, I wanted to get married. I wanted to have, like a nice, normal life, drama-free life. Not like how my parents, were. But yeah, for some reason, and I felt like, oh yeah, I'm going to live a rock star life, probably die. It's just...
That's in my car. That's
And
what's gonna happen.
I remember, like, in my 20s, like, after I left Jonathan, like, making sure that I was, like, milking all that I could out of life and experiences,
Living
right?
life, yeah.
Within reason and within my means, I guess. But I wanted to proudly be able to say, if I die tomorrow, then that's okay because I've had so many good days.
Yeah.
But I can't say that now because things are different. I have a family, I want to see more days. I want to see, me and Steve grow old together. I want to see where me and my friends take things, the adventures, see Braden grow up. So yeah, I guess it's kind of morbid, right? But my ideas of where I would be at this age. But what about you? What did you have a dream other than dying?
That's not a dream. That's not a dream.
Or,
but
I mean, I guess like an idea of what you would be doing.
it's funny because, I don't know, when you were little, did you guys play like the like we made a thing out of paper and we'd go boop, 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 and it would be like, it would say like, do you want to live in a mansion, a shack?
Oh, yeah, that fortune.
Yeah, the
fortune.
thing, and then it was like, do you want to be married or how many
Yes.
kids? And
Yes.
So, and there was another thing we always used to do. Like we
MASH.
would write it, MASH. Yeah, we would write, MASH. We would
Oh,
write it
I
down.
live and died by that game.
Mansion, apartment, shack, or
Shack,
house.
house.
Okay, yeah. I never chose the mansion.
Huh?
No, because that's too much to clean, girl.
Well,
And that's
obviously,
too
if you
much-
live in a mansion, you should be able to have help, right?
I didn't think about it that way. This is like crazy to say, and I feel like I was wise beyond my years when I was a child. I always said money, fame, fortune, whatever, it's not important to me. The most important thing to me is love.
Oh.
And as long as I'm in love and I love my life and I surround myself with good people, then I am fulfilled.
That's why I love you.
Aww.
You are loved.
But I was like,
Yeah.
I'll live in that shack. I don't care. Like, I'll be poor as hell.
The love shack, baby.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, now, I like money. Of course everybody likes money. I like to travel. I like to
it
go out to good
provides
dinners.
experiences,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love my champagne and different things like that. But I love enjoying it with my husband and my friends and my family and, the people who are important to me. As far as a dream, I I will say that when I was in high school and we had to write, like, where we saw ourselves when we grew up, I wrote that I would own my own PR agency and that I would adopt 2 Chinese girls. And the reason being for that is because I had learned at that time that in China, when little girls were born, they were killed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that still goes on, or if it was even going on at that point or whatever. But
Yeah.
I was like, I want to save as many children as I can.
Do you still want 2 Chinese girls?
No. Now, I'm so established in my life now. My mid-40s or whatever. Like, Mike's a little older than me, but like I feel like, we just love our life, and that would just really shake things up. Like, that being said, God forbid if something happened to one of my brothers and we needed, or Mike's sister or whatever, and we need to take in one of our nieces or nephews, absolutely we would do it. Absolutely.
I respect that 100%. I mean, when Braden moved in with us, life totally changed. Life was so different. And, we're now looking at trying to have our own eventually after I get through my last hurrah pre-baby. Not saying that this is the last chapter of that, but it's scary. And I remember also saying on my MASH, I was going to adopt kids too.
Really?
And I guess in a sense I did adopt one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think always the idea of birthing one and going through that process terrified me, and it still terrifies me.
Yeah.
So
some days I do look back and I think, should I have done it? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I do.
Shoulda, woulda, though.
Right. And well, now it's way too late because I had a hysterectomy 2 years ago, so that's not in the cards. But yeah, sometimes I do look back and I'm like, how much would my life be different now? Like, where would I be? What would I be doing? But, I mean, I can say without blinking an eye, without second guessing, that I am so in love with my life now, and I wouldn't want it any other way. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And I think that it's okay for perspectives to change, right? We pivot and adjust all the time to life, right? You have to. Adapt or die, as they say in business.
Oh, God, I never heard that, actually.
And speaking of your dream of PR, first of all, you are a business owner, so snaps for that. And 2, you have been dabbling in PR as well, marketing and PR. So tell us a little bit about how you pivot from that and incorporate your fitness, within that space, because, you have a big bandwidth. Like, I think your bandwidth might be a little bit bigger than mine. I don't know. Throw a kid in there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always say. It's because I don't have kids, right? But it's funny whenever I talk to people and I tell them, they're like, well, what do you do? And I'm like,
A lot
of things. And like, even yesterday I was working at an event, and the woman who I was working the event with, at the end of the day I said, oh God, I'm so exhausted. I said, and I'm filming tomorrow for my podcast. She's like, you have a podcast too, in addition to like everything else that you're doing? I'm like, yeah. But back to, so the PR thing, I actually went to college for PR. So it's funny. Well, here's a pivot. I thought I wanted to go to school for art therapy. So I started my freshman year majoring in art therapy, and then I realized that to be a therapist you have to take like psychology classes and science classes, and girl, I don't like science that much, so I was like, Not only that, I started going to like the art classes, and they were just like art snobs, right? Like, so they're talking about like the Renaissance era and like all this stuff, and I'm like, no, I just love art. I like expression, like you do. You know what I mean? Like, to me, art is expression. I don't have to study Renoir, and so I was like, okay, crap, like this isn't what I want to do, right? So I actually pivoted to journalism. So then my mom used to always say to me, like, I could just see you on the news. I could just see you on the news. And so I pivoted to broadcast journalism. So that's what I almost completed my bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism until I went to get an internship. And I was in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is one of the top 5 markets in media, right? So
No way.
very hard to get an internship even. And even the struggles that I had getting an internship, I'm thinking like, God, how hard is it going to be to get a job? I have friends that also went to school for broadcast journalism and
Yeah.
ended up having to take their first job in like Kentucky or
Yeah.
Alaska or whatever, you know what I mean? Like places like unheard of places that I wasn't willing to do. So pivoted again and I thought, well, maybe I would be really good behind the camera. And then that's when I went to PR. So I got my bachelor's degree in PR with a little bit of journalism and advertising too. And then I got my master's degree in business communication. So I wanted like that kind of like business angle, like the professional communications side of it as well. So that is what my formal education is in. And I've definitely utilized it. I think I'm so fortunate. So many people go to school for different things and then pivot and become something completely different than what they're paying their student loans still for. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, but I mean, how fun is it to reinvent yourself,
Yeah.
reinvent your image? Because we are high functioning individuals. Like, we get bored easy. We need a few things going on to
Yeah.
keep us interested, within reason. Do you feel like you get exhausted more these days, or are you keeping up with it? Do you need to go into hibernation, or
So
how do you manage?
the past couple weeks I have been extremely exhausted because I am about to take another pivot in my career. Which do you know that I don't really know how to snap? Like I'm not very good at it.
Well, I can't whistle, so.
I can't whistle either. Non-whistle club. So I recently actually touched base with a guy that I worked with 20 years ago at my very first job. The bulk of my experience with PR and marketing is in tourism. And my very first job, I was working for the Bucks County Tourism Office in Pennsylvania, which is where I grew up, born and raised, Bucks County. And, I loved it. And I met this man then. At the time, he was the director of sales for the local Holiday Inn. And now he's running a hotel company. And what they do is acquire hotels on college and university campuses, kind of turn them around. The bulk of their book of hotels is in actually on Penn State's campus. But anyway, recently touched base with him. Actually was talking to him about maybe doing some freelance work with like my marketing business, doing maybe like a retainer of a couple hours a month. And suddenly this opportunity for a marketing director emerged and he said, would you be interested? Thought about it. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I am interested. I'm like,
felt right.
is it cool that I live in Tampa Bay and you're in Philadelphia? And he's like, yeah. It's the tourism industry, and as long as you'd be willing to travel to the resort or the hotels if you needed to. And I said, yeah, of course I'd be willing to travel. So anyway, took the job, and I start the beginning of June. So June 2nd, I'm flying to Philadelphia, and I'm spending the week in Pennsylvania, going out to Penn State, touring all of the different hotels. But anyway, in order to prepare for that, which is only 2 weeks away, not even 2 weeks away, a week and a half away, I had to end some relationships with some current marketing
You gotta cut
clients
some fat.
and take away some of the health and wellness gig work that I was doing in order to create bandwidth for a more full-time job, right? So I've been working on all of that over the past couple weeks, and I'm just at this point, I have a lot of things that I still need to wrap up. So I've been feeling a lot of stress. The past couple days, I've been working full-day events and really physical events, like having to carry heavy things, and so my body's tired and my mind is tired, but I see a light at the end of the tunnel. This weekend is Memorial Day weekend, so looking forward to spending some extra quality time with Mike and you know, I have full confidence that I'll be able to wrap up the projects that I need to wrap up by
You
the end
will.
of next week. Yeah.
It's so funny. I had people book meetings on my calendar for
Monday.
and I'm like,
Same.
excuse me.
Same.
Here's my booking link. Find something else. I'm not working Monday.
I do have a couple meetings in the morning, but we're going to Busch Gardens.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
we're going to go. We're like huge coaster fans, so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, we love coasters. So we actually have season passes for Busch Gardens.
I used to do that. See, here's the funny thing is I prefer theme parks when I don't go with children.
Yeah. So do I. I'm like, I want to do my own thing. I want to go do all the food and drinks
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Don't
Yeah.
be asking me for stuff in the gift shop. That, you know, I want to drink.
You do not need that another stuffed animal.
No, so this weekend we went, last weekend we went to Universal with Brayden, for her 7th birthday. And
Oh, that's right. She has the same birthday as Mike, right?
That's right. And I used to go to Universal all the time, but,
Life
by
happens.
myself with friends.
Yeah.
And it was just so different.
Yeah.
It was like I was like finding myself getting more tired than I used to. That could also be the age.
It's a lot of walking around. And the heat. It's been really hot.
Over 20,000 steps, girl.
Yeah. I just did that. I was in Key West last weekend for Mike's birthday. And
Yeah.
we did 20,000 steps a day just walking around Key West.
Makes up for all the good food that we eat, right? Yeah. So my pivoting journey has been just as active as yours.
Yeah, I know.
So, like I said, I grew up around really good cooks. My mom was a good cook. My aunties are great cooks in England. So I was inspired to seek out a culinary profession, right? I went to culinary school in Houston. And I think that my stepdad, who raised me, was initially kind of like questionable about that because, he's thinking more long term. And of course he's right. Like, it's really hard to make it big in the culinary space.
And the restaurant industry is tough.
But
just in general.
But I'm a passionate person, and I just kind of did it anyway. I wasn't going to go into his business. My dad was a PhD. He had like 50 U.S. patents. He was a chemist. He had, a manufacturing plant, and I loved and admired what he did. But I obviously didn't have that same passion for chemistry and science that he does.
Well, another similarity that we have.
then again, cooking is a science.
It certainly is.
But it's different.
Yeah. And I
There's
think
more-
for both of us, that comes naturally to us.
Yeah.
We don't even have to think about it.
Yeah. So, anyway, I went to school. I ended up leaving Texas when I was 22 to move here.
Okay.
And the reason I moved here was because where I was living in Texas was like not where I was meant to be. It was very small town, small-minded. I was always like a pariah there because I was the British girl. I was different. And just the people that were around me, like, I did have some good friends, but like nobody was like pushing me to be better. I felt like I needed to change my atmosphere. I came out to Florida and visited some girlfriends when I was 22. We went to St. Pete.
Yeah?
And they took me to like Postcard Inn and, St. Pete Beach and Treasure Island. And I was just in love with the environment here. Like, there's so much opportunity. People have a better frame of mind, I felt. It wasn't as drama negative.
You're killing me right now because literally I have the same exact story as to why we moved here. We visited St. Pete Beach.
Yeah. There's just so much more to marvel at and do here on any day of the week.
It's a different mindset, too.
Yeah.
It truly, we should have a whole episode about moving to Florida and how our lives have changed, even in the
Yes.
past year since meeting each other.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
We'll write that one down. So I come visit, I go back, and within a month, I've packed up everything in my little 2-door Cavalier, and I'm like, I'm moving to Florida. I had it all figured out.
Okay.
Kind of.
Did you have a roommate?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I had friends here. I had it all set up. My friend had a townhouse here. She rented 2 rooms to me and then another girl.
Okay.
And it was like the ultimate bachelor pad. We called it the APW house, like as a joke sorority name.
Okay.
I would tell you what it stood for, but it's not PG.
That's okay. This isn't necessarily a PG show, but
So anyway, moved into the APW sorority house.
I think I can kind of figure out what APW stands for.
So we had a great time, but of course when I moved here, like I just got out of school. I did not want to go work in a restaurant,
Yeah.
like in a kitchen, mind you. I didn't want to work in a kitchen. I didn't really have any connections here.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll just go into hospitality. I'll just work front of the house hospitality,
Yeah.
right? So I went to work, did cocktail waitressing, bartending, did that. And then I got this opportunity to be a flight attendant. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm not being a chef for a while. And it's so funny. I meet so many friends that went to culinary school, and their trajectories all over the place too.
Yeah.
We must all have ADHD or something. So I go do that. That doesn't work out. I told you I injured my foot, came back to Tampa, did not want to move to Pennsylvania for that. And so then I start getting into the dental and medical field, right? So I work in the front of the house and back of the house, so clinical and admin side, learn all of that. And then when I was with my ex, Jonathan, he, like I said, he told me he wanted me to start making new dishes every single night.
Yeah.
And even though this was cumbersome after a long day at the office.
Oh, of course. But you're expected to do that because you're the woman, right?
I remembered how freaking good I am.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it again. And so I get really creative. I start playing around with like making a blog. I never pursued the whole blog thing. I'm not very good with filming myself and making a script.
And yet here we are.
Thanks to you. So, but no, the thing is, like, my passion for it was reignited, and it's almost like I wanted that back as part of my identity. So when I left Jonathan and I moved in with my friend Victoria, I was still in the medical and dental field, right? That was my day job. But I started moonlighting as a private chef, right? And I started rebranding myself as that. And I made like a separate Instagram page. This is when Instagram was like still super young. And I'd post my food. And then I remember posting on Craigslist an advertisement for private chef work. And I know Craigslist can be kind of sketch, but that's actually where I found my first really amazing client, or he found me. So he is this huge real estate guru here. Like, he owns his own agency, and he had this beautiful house in St. Pete, kind of off Bocasiega area, kind of towards like Treasure Island, like near Sloppy Joe's area. So he would have me go to his house every weekend, and I would do a full grocery shop for what they need and everything I was going to cook them for the week. So I would spend basically like an entire Saturday from like 12 to 7.
Wow.
And doing the shop, and then I would make about 7 family-sized meals for them to have in the fridge.
Okay.
For him, his wife, and his little boy. And I did that for quite a while. Had a couple other side meal prep clients as well. And then I ended up discontinuing that. I think, you know, he was having this issue with his wife where she would instigate problems with him over me.
Oh.
I think because she didn't cook, she would say stuff like, well, why don't you just marry Chloe or something like that? And he felt bad, you know, and it was putting me in an awkward position when I go
so
over
awkward.
there. It was like, I'm here to help.
Yeah,
Like,
and you're paying me. And
right. So we kind of like ended that relationship on amicable terms. It's kind of sad,
Yeah.
you know.
That a woman's insecurity ended that relationship.
Yeah, because obviously there was nothing there. But, you know, so I ended up taking a break and would kind of do it intermittently, you know, just as like a side thing. And then I really got back into it round about COVID time. So at this point, I was with Steve. We were living together. COVID happened. All the restaurants were shut down. And everybody's like, oh, this is terrible. You know, I can't get my favorite foods. And so I made this post on our community page. What kind of foods do you want? You know, I can
make the food.
I can try. I can do this. I can do this. So I started getting clients regularly within the community, and it could be anything. It could be like family style meals or baked goods, you know. So, and I also think it was kind of like that community love, right? They're trying to like support small business and like give me the business, which I really appreciate. And then the gyms opened back up. You still had to wear your mask, I remember. But Steve went back to work. And Steve was like, you know how everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people, they didn't do so well diet-wise during COVID.
Yeah.
Steve actually was the opposite.
Yeah.
He was like,
Ripped.
yeah, he was like built, shredded.
Can I ask like a sidebar question? Because I was in the Philadelphia area when COVID happened. COVID was like a 2-year long ordeal up there. Here, it was like 3 weeks, but you guys still talk about it as if it was like way longer.
Well, it's because we had to wear the masks.
We were literally locked in our house
My
for
in-laws
over a year.
are in Mass, and they have the same crap.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he goes to work, and he's like looking good, right? And he's bringing these meal preps to work, and they are artful. You know, I had a lot more time on my hands there, so I would put more of an effort. People are like, oh, what's that? Can I get some of that? And he'd say, well, my girlfriend is a chef, you know, so maybe I'll see if you want to do it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So then that struck a light bulb. Okay, maybe I can revamp this and I can do it for bodybuilders or fitness enthusiasts and like make it more healthy or compliant to what they need, right? So that's what I did for like 2 years. That was basically my business. Like 2 days a week, I would cook. That's it. About 100 meals out of my kitchen.
Wow. And then you'd have to deliver them all?
So I would have Steve take them to the gym, and they would just pick them up.
That's so crazy because that's like the Rebuilt Meals model now. Like I worked for Rebuilt Meals when I first moved here, and that's literally their model. That's how they distribute their food. They have coolers in gyms, and people pick them up.
But everybody loved mine because I was the only one that made it fresh to order.
Right.
And I didn't have a set menu. I was just like, tell me what you can not have or you don't like, and I won't make that, and everything else will be a surprise. Like, I'll tell you what you're having. Yeah. Because that made it easier on me versus having like a million different things. Right,
of course.
So that was really good. I mean, but it just did ebb and flow, just as people's disciplines do, right? So it was good when it was just him and me, but a little bit after we got married, 3 months after we got married, Braden moved in, right? So now we have like a whole set
And you're
schedule
suddenly your mom.
and obligations. So I finished it out for the rest of 2021, and then I had to sunset it and go back into the medical and dental field, which was really bittersweet because I was burnt out on the cooking, but it was my
We love it.
identity,
Yeah.
right? Like I did it, you know, and it's just kind of it is a common story though. Like I said, a lot of people that work as chefs, you know, or went to culinary school, they do so many other different things.
Yeah.
So went back in there, and then I have really graduated my career from working in the medical field to corporate to now what I do now in the healthcare space. The culinary field has called to me a couple of times, and I've revisited, but now I want to say I am done.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, just a few months ago, you were talking about potentially going back and trying
I'm
it
going
again.
to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. So, I was, and I'm still open to doing my empowered nutrition course.
Yeah.
It's not really a high volume
Yeah.
product, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right? I anticipated more people to be interested on how to learn how to meal prep.
Girl, it's the
and
same.
live-
It's the
you
same with
know,
me in fitness,
you know,
right?
You're like, don't they want to make their life better?
Yeah.
So that I will, I can accommodate that. But again, that's not me cooking for them,
Yeah.
right? So I had this guy reach out to me, and he wanted me to meal prep for him on the weekly because he had some fitness goals. He's a busy doctor, right? How much is it? Oh, well, I'm going to have to think about this because my model for just doing it for you is going to be different to how I had it
Right, like
with
bulk.
a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So I told him, okay, it's going to be $150 an hour, and then you have to pay
Purchase
for the
food.
cost of food.
Yeah.
Because this is different. I'm like measuring his stuff, only using specific things. Like it's very detail oriented, and it has to be chef curated, right? It's not just throwing stuff together. He said, okay, so you're making about 16 meals. How long is that going to take? I'm like, I don't know. I'll let you know. He's like, okay, money's not really an option. I'm like, okay. I did give him more on the conservative pricing, $150 an hour, because I did research it, and it goes
Yeah.
up to $250 an hour.
Yeah. I mean, you're
And
a
I'm-
private chef.
I'm doing this on a Sunday, right?
Your free time.
So I do it, and his bill comes out to a total of probably $600. And I drive it all the way to him. And he loves all the food. And then I follow up. He's like, yeah, I want you to do this, 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 and this for next week. He goes, but there's one other thing I want to talk to you about. I said, what? He goes, I was wondering if we could work on the price a little bit.
Says the doctor who originally told you money is not an option, right?
I said, what did you have in mind? And he goes, oh, I'm thinking more like $50 an hour. And I basically told him to F off politely.
Yeah.
And explained why.
Yeah. That's why I love you.
But that's respectfully.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is people don't respect the value of it or my time. So I can't be bothered.
It's the same with marketing. Honestly, it's the same with marketing and PR. Like, I'll give somebody a price and they're like, ooh, I didn't think it was going to be that much. Like, no, like if you want me to build you a website, yes, it takes hours and hours, revisions, you want changes, we go back and forth, like, and then it's so funny because the certain people who I do give a break on, they're always the ones that come back and they have one like 4 revisions and change this and do. And I'm like, I should have charged you $2,000, not $500. What am I doing?
I know. I learned all this, you know, with cooking and then in my other careers too. Like it's
you need to know your own value and you need to stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to stick to it. So yeah. Where are we? I think we should be wrapping up soon.
Yeah. So I think we can both say that we are pivoting princesses, and we you know, it's not a problem. Like, that's what puts the zest in life. We are not one dimensional. We can do many different things, and I think that creates a well-rounded individual and professional, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even really touch on all of my, I don't think I really talked about my fitness stuff in this episode, but that's just another part of me too, right? And like I said, you know, my best friend, she always says to me, she's like, most people have like 24 hours in a day. I feel like you have like 40 hours in a day, but you know, when you're high functioning and you're, you know, I do value my downtime. I do value my downtime for sure, and I try to take quality time with Mike when I can and my friends and make it all work, but we do get bored because I feel like back in the day, everybody was like, you have to have one career. Like, you're a teacher, you're a doctor, you're a flight attendant, whatever. And that's your identity and that's who you are. And, like, that is not who we are. I'm not going to say, I'm a marketing professional in the tourism industry and that's me. No. I'm a fitness professional. I'm into nutrition. I value wellness. I care about corporate wellness. I, you know, and I'm a marketing professional. I build websites on the side in addition to having a full-time job. You know, like, there's a lot going on, but I wouldn't trade it in for anything. And I think both of us are at like a really good point in our lives where it's, I don't believe in, like, saying, like, I've reached the excellence. You know what I mean? Like, there's always more. There's always more to be had. And that's, like, I just keep setting different goals for myself. I keep reaching for more. And the important thing is to celebrate when you do reach your goals. You know, don't just, like, keep moving past them. But I think, you know, life evolves and life changes and, like, we roll with the punches, right?
And we change. Our interests change over time, and that's fine. As long as your core values remain the same, right?
Yeah. Well, sometimes even your core values change, which we'll get into even
Hopefully
more.
for the better.
Yeah.
Not for the worse.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to wrap it up because time is money, baby.
That's right. We have some to make.
Okay, so that being said, should we give our socials or should we just say, like, look in the description below?
Check in the description below, guys.
There you
We
go.
will put our Instagram handles. If you want to follow us, tag us, send us a message, ask a question, please do.
If you want tips on how to become your own pivot princess, we're here for you. But until then,
Catch you on the flip side.
all right, bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on this episode of Hustle and Glow. If you love what you heard, make sure to hit subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with the women that you love.
And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram. We love hearing your stories, questions, and wins. You can find our Instagram handles in the information.
Now, keep hustling, keep glowing, and remember, you are strong, you are capable, and you are never alone.
Until next time, stay fierce and fabulous.